And we are live. Yay!
Hi.
So excited. I just got home from a couple of days away. So just jumped in the shower. I'm so glad that I got a shower before sitting down for a couple of hours of reading. So I'll just quickly say what we're doing today for people who might be joining for the first time, and then that also gives some people time to come on in, because I know that the notification sometimes is a little bit delayed, so people join in a little bit later, and then we'll go round and introduce ourselves and share what we're reading. So in a little bit, I'm going to put a timer on the screen, and while the timer's on the screen, we're going to be reading each our own book, silently muted. And when the time's up, we're going to come back and chat a little bit about the books, about the world, whatever comes to mind. So we see the first people are coming in. So hi Anna, and hi Purple Reinhardt. So let's go around, introduce ourselves, and share what we're reading. Mel, do you want to start?
Sure. I'm Melanie. For those few people that don't know me already, I've only been here like forever, but today I'll be reading A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. This is a reread for me because my little buddy read group, we're working our way through this series to read the newest one. I'm currently on page 343, so like almost right at the halfway point, and loving it. And yeah, for those that don't know, I have a YouTube channel here as well called Completely Melanie. I read a ridiculous amount of books typically, except this past month and this month because of a new puppy. But other than that, yeah, I host the season-a-thon readathons.
Are you going to see Puppy today?
Puppy is in his kennel right now, chowing down on a little frozen treat thing. So you may see him later when I can no longer keep him kenneled.
All right. Louise?
I'll go. Hi, everyone. I'm back again. It's Lois from Lo Chan Reads, just for the benefit of anyone who might be new here. So my channel name is Lo Chan Reads, and I mainly do all sorts of videos, but I try to focus on representing books that were written by ethnic minorities. So I'm trying to do a series on my channel, but most of you already know that, so I won't go too much into it. I'm just going to talk about the book that I'm reading. You'll be glad to know, this is mainly directed at Cece, that the book I'm reading is much, much better than the last time I was on here with you. I'll just show it to you. It's all white, so you might struggle to see it, but it says, there we go. The Ministry of Utmost Happiness by Arundhati Roy.
That looks like a chunker of a book too.
It's very big. It's over 400 pages. And I've already read the first 30, 40 pages, and it's going very, very well, as I hoped it would, because Arundhati Roy is one of my favorite authors. She wrote The God of Small Things, which was my clear favorite book of last year. So yeah, I was so excited when I heard about this one. This is her second book that she took 20 years to write. So yeah, I'm really excited for it. And yeah, so far it's going really, really well. So we'll talk about that one more later.
So Purple Reinhardt wants to know what you made a decision on, which is Steeped in Gold.
Oh, someone remembers. So in the end, I actually DNF'd that book at 20%.
Good.
I mean, I say DNF, but I really mean I put it on the back burner indefinitely. So I might start it again because I really want to give it another chance. But for now, it was just a bit too much for my small brain.
That's good. Good decision. You didn't enjoy it.
I found your channel.
Oh, wow.
I subscribed.
Oh, that's my channel. Exactly. Thanks for sharing.
So Najat will be reading The Language of Thorns by Liba Dugo. well, please share how that is. I think that's the only one from like the Grishaverse that I have not much interest in reading. So please share. I think it's just like fairy tale short stories, and that just doesn't sound right to me, like for my taste. So super excited to hear what you think. Have you read it, Mel?
I haven't read that one, but I think it's like throughout the stories they reference certain stories in the book, and those little stories that are referenced are the stories in Language of Thorns.
Right.
So it's not necessary at all, but I've heard it's really good, and the art adds on as the pages go. Like the around the edges of the pages, there's art, and it builds up as you go, and so that seems really
beautiful.
Cool.
It looks really beautiful, but from my understanding, it's like short story, and it has like a whimsical fairy tale feel, like based on like Russian folklore, I believe.
Yes, the whole Grishaverse is Russian stuff.
It doesn't sound like I might enjoy it, so I'm gonna pass. But I'm excited to hear, Najat, what you think about it. Purple Rain Hearts is reading The Ruthless Lady's Guide to Wizardry.
Yes. So I'm supposed to be reading that this week. This is my book for our buddy read group for this week, but I've been like, I got to catch up on other stuff. So I had to put it off this week and can't do it. So I'm just skipping it and starting fresh with next month's reads.
It's a gorgeous edition.
I'm so excited about next month's reads. Oh my goodness.
Anna's trying to finish George today. Awesome. You're going to be able to finish that. That's such a quick read. I'm pretty sure that you're going to be able to finish that. We answered that. Hi. Just started it. Listen to the audio 20 minutes in. Okay, then share what you think when you start having an opinion. So I'm currently sitting at my desk because in the first sprint, I still want to sort out my TBR for the summer season-a-thon. Because I cannot focus on reading before I have that TBR sorted out. And then I have 3 books to jump between that I all wanted to have finished by today. Meet Me in Paradise is not my type of read, but I'm weirdly still reading it. I don't feel bad enough for DNFing it, but I'm also like my eyes keep rolling like so hard that I feel like people have to hear it because it's so tropey as in for like romances. Oh my god. But I keep still reading it. I don't know why, but and also I need to open the gifts. So that's that. I need to finish the Purpose Guided Universe. I've been reading this 2 weeks ago on the live, I believe. It's a nonfiction that tries to marry religion, or not religion, but science and proving the likelihood of an intelligent entity having created the universe. And I've been struggling with some parts of it because it just didn't feel as scientific as I was hoping for, but I really do want to finish that. And then I have been reading this for the past 2 days, and I'm loving it. And this is just when I cannot deal with these. I'm going to prioritize finishing these, but this is the guaranteed one that I love. So
is that's the 3rd book in the Poppy War series? So it is. I still haven't read that yet. I must.
Yes, it's so good. It might be one of my favorite fantasy series, just next to like the Wheel of Time, because there's so much goodness in this. It's so raw, it's so real. I think I wanted to write down a quote. I was listening to the audiobook while I was on a hike today, and there was a quote, and I was like, why don't I have the book with me, because I want to highlight this passage. There was a quote in it about saying like, the destruction part is easy, what comes after is the hard part. It's like there's so much about war and so much about the things in war that people don't talk about. It's usually in these books, it's about killing the emperor. It's about killing the big evil. But nobody talks about what happens to the civilians, or what happens when you have to start rebuilding. and there's so much pain and there's so much roughness and raw, and you cannot be like, this is a tough read. Probably
Had.
large long list of trigger too. I mean, it's about war, and it takes a very real perspective. So you can just imagine, like, shit happens in war time. So.
By the way, Lois, I could listen to you talk like all day long. It's your voice is just like, it's so nice.
Oh, thank you. Do you think so? I think it's too deep sometimes.
No, I think it's lovely. I'm just like, talk to me. Okay.
Oh, thank you. So maybe try now.
Well, you can start with whatever book you want for the summertime readathon. As far as the 2 group books with the authors live shows, Janella Angelis will be with us on July 24th, doing the live show for Where Dreams Descend. And then on the 31st will be, oh my gosh, my brain just went blank. Jeff Zetner. We'll be discussing The Serpent King. I was thinking Goodbye Days, and I'm like, that's not the book. It's The Serpent King. So you can start with either of those books, or you can start with one of the others for one of the other prompts. I have no idea what I'm going to start with. I'm actually starting Where Dreams Descend on the 5th. So that won't be my first book, because we're buddy reading that in my little group.
So how do you to usually decide your reading order of your TBR? Do you just pick like what you're in the mood for, or do you have a sort of a plan?
I just pick something, just randomly. If this book's on top, okay, I'll read that one. This goes for this prompt. So I have no idea what I'm going to read first. It just kind of depends on what I'm in the mood for, and what my stack looks like. But I do have my entire TBR figured out for it, and I have picked a prompt for every single challenge. For those of you that don't know, it's like a month-long readathon, and there's 12 challenges, and it's a lot of fun. We have authors joining us and all that stuff, so definitely check it out.
Is it something you do every year, or is it the first time you're doing it?
We do it every year. We actually do a season-a-thon every season. So spring and fall, those are spring in a reading-a-thon and fall in a reading-a-thon, and those usually range from like a week to 10 days. And then our summer and winter ones are month-long, and we have summertime reads readathon, and then Merry Bookmas readathon. And so our Twitter is at season-a-thon.
Very busy.
Yes, it is. And we get at least one author to join us for our group book for every readathon and have a live show with that author. We also do after hours ridiculousness, drunk live show kind of thing. Sometimes it gets stupid sometimes. And I don't know if you've met Kaylani or not, because she's done some reading.
Oh, she was on the last live I was on, I think.
She's one of my co-hosts for Season-a-thon. It's me, her, and Clint from Reads Readers. And we have a really good time. And our last after hours live show, Kaylani was like trying on her wedding dress and swapping out wigs. And it was funny. We had a good time.
Wow. That sounds like a lot of fun. I'll have to. Does your readathon have its own channel, or are you doing it all from? When I say its own channel, I mean its own Twitter handle. Yes,
we do have our own Twitter handle. It's Season-a-thon.
Okay.
But yeah, the announcements are on each of our YouTube channels, and I also pinned the announcement or whatever on our Twitter. We're gonna do like reading sprint, like live reading sprints on all of our channels, and we're gonna have we actually have a readathon inside the readathon, because Kaylani is turning 24 during our readathon. So we're gonna do the weekend of the 17th and 18th. We're gonna do a 24 and 48 hour thing in honor of her 24th birthday. And we'll be doing live reading sprints on all of our channels throughout that weekend. And yeah, just a lot of stuff going on.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to participating this time. I'll be reading, starting notes on A Nervous Planet by Matt Haig and Stepbrother Dearest by Penelope Ward. How are you liking these? So you're doing the notes now. Have you started both? I'm confused what that means in terms of where you're at with your reading.
I've heard really good things about Matt Haig, like his books. I haven't read one yet, but I really, really, really want to read The Midnight Library.
Oh yeah, please do.
That one is really popular right now, isn't it? I've only read Reasons to Stay Alive, which is like an autobiographical memoir about him dealing with anxiety and depression, but I haven't read any of his fiction stuff, so that should be interesting.
It sounds really good too. Yeah, I love The Midnight Library. I think I know that a lot of people are usually quite cautious when it comes to hyped books because your expectations are ridiculous at times. And I feel like with the Midnight Library, you have to go into it knowing that it's about the journey and that it's pretty likely that after a few pages, you know where this is going. You know what the point of the book is. You know what it's trying to tell you. It feels probably quite obvious, but it's still a fun journey. And if you just let it take you on that journey, you're probably going to enjoy it a lot.
Well, it has. Happy birthday, Jocelyn! It has one of my favorite tropes in it because I love a bookish book, whether it's like bookish characters or a bookish setting or like a book within a book. I love a bookish book, and I know that sounds stupid, a bookish book, but yes, I love. That's like one of my favorite tropes.
I'm excited to see how much you believe that this trope is fulfilled in this one. Because it can go.
There's a setting of a library type thing, so.
Yeah, it is. I'm just wondering how you feel about it and how much of an importance it has to you in that book, for this library to be there. Yeah, you just got to read it so we can talk about it. Yeah, happy birthday, Jocelyn. And Jocelyn, honestly, I feel so appreciative that you are spending your time with us on your birthday.
We could all sing happy birthday.
Yeah, that never works because of the delay.
That's more reason to do it.
And John is going to be back in a little bit. Anything good for dinner? Yeah, you should know when you announce during a live show on my channel that you're going to have dinner, you're going to have to tell us what you're having.
You'll probably see me cook my dinner in the middle of our live show.
And I think Anna sums it up perfectly. I wish you all the good books and no DNS and pretty bookmarks. That is the perfect. Can I have this as like a card, please? Like a Hallmark card? Sounds perfect. Barbecue. What an awesome birthday wish. It is. Shall we get into a reading sprint?
Sure.
Start doing. Trying to get it on the screen. So I think for the last 2 weeks, people have been enjoying 45 minutes more than 30 minutes. Are you both okay with that?
I'm fine with it.
Oh, Anna has a question for you.
My birthday was my 40th birthday was on May 11th, so it's just a month ago.
Yeah.
And it's your 40th.
Congratulations.
Yay for people over 40. Alrighty. Let's get into it. Happy reading, everyone. See you in 45.
Happy reading.
My timer disappeared, but that is time.
Hi.
How did y'all do?
Good. Only 20 pages, but it's a big book with tiny words, so that's good.
I got like 30 pages of this, and then I switched to editing my video. But I got through 30 pages because, well, it's like the opposite of Lois's. I got big words and big spacing, and these pages fly by.
It does help when you have a bigger typeset, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Also, I've read it before, so I don't have to like really like pay super close attention to like every little detail because I do know what's going. I'm just kind of like refreshing my brain with it all.
Yeah, that sounds beneficial. But you're both liking your reads, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's going well. It's going well. It's still early days, but it's going very well. Much better than the last book. We won't talk about that, but yeah, it's going much better.
That's good. I just read a couple of pages. I did get to open my first gift, which was awesome. I'm not going to talk about what it is because I'm assuming, Melanie, you have that book somewhere in a box closed, waiting for you to open the gift. Well, next year or so.
I need to do like a month of nothing but like Once Upon a Book Club boxes for real because it's getting out of control.
Well, all of your books are getting out of control, but
that's honestly, true too.
I don't know how you do it, that you're sitting on these boxes not reading them, because there's gifts to open when you read the book. It's like, how can you not?
I have lots and lots of gifts to open at some point. I have some of these that I've probably had for years that I've just never, it's just stayed sitting in the box.
That's ridiculous.
So I see somebody said that they are reading Genderqueer, a memoir, and that is a really good book. It's a graphic novel, but it is a memoir, and it's great. It's about I have it sitting over there. It's about Maya Kebab, and they use the pronouns air and m. It's an EIR and EM. So it is their experience with figuring out themselves and explaining it to their family, and it's they're asexual, non-binary, and it's a great teaching like tool too. Like it definitely helps explain things to, you know, people that might not necessarily understand all the different identities out there and pronouns and why pronouns are important and all of that.
I love that.
I'd love to read it. I've heard of it. I think someone else that I know read it and recommended it to me. So yeah, I definitely like to read it, and I love graphic novels as well. So it sounds good.
Especially a graphic novel that is also a memoir. I love that concept somehow, because so far, every time I've read a graphic novel that's a memoir, I loved it. I just love how you can bring the memories to life through the pictures and the imagery and the color tones and everything. It gives so much, like so many layers to it. I love it. So
the author is also the artist.
Wow. That is rare.
Kind of how they dealt with things was comics.
That's more interesting.
Yeah.
So definite recommendation. How's everyone doing with whatever-a-thon if you're participating? Are you two participating?
I am not. I've heard of it, but no.
Me neither.
I had every intention of participating in the Clear Your Shit readathon, but I can't get my shit together, much less clear it.
when they say clear your shit, are they talking about it's a readathon that's intended to get you to do all the things that you've been meaning to get around to but never done? Is it sort of that?
I think it's about like the books that you already own and things like that, which yeah.
You have enough to pick from then.
Yeah. I made a TBR for it and stuff, but my reading for this month has just not, like this month and last month have just not been a lot because of vacationing and the puppy, and the puppy ate some of my books.
Oh no.
Yes. He got my book Horrid by Katrina Leno. It looks horrid because he ate the spine, like not just the jacket, but the actual spine, like it's down to the paper.
Oh no.
And he started chewing up You Must Not Miss by Katrina Leno as well. I'm like, what do you have against her? Like, these are not chew toys. And then he starts trying to chew on the bookshelf. And I'm like, no.
He's going after a specific author. That's funny.
Favorite author there. So, I mean, and you
I actually hadn't read any of her books yet. And now they're chewed up.
Oh dear.
Yeah, he wants to eat everything. Everything.
Yeah, so sorry, I'm not participating either. I just did not feel like joining a readathon that was that big and that hyped. I usually when I'm joining a readathon, it's either because there's specifically prompts or a theme that I'm excited about, or I push. Yeah, like the one next month, or like if I need a push to get my shit together to read, or because of the community, and that's something for the readathon, Melanie, with yours as well. I think it has a great community, and it's a great couple of people reading together. But with the size of the whatever-thon, it loses that sense of community because it's too many people. Who announced that they were participating. So there was nothing that made me want to join.
Yeah, I can probably tell you most of the people that I see, it's this way, most of the people I can see in the comments are probably also people that are participating in the readathon, because these same people are commenting on the videos and coming to the live shows on both this channel and my channel. And yeah, so you see a lot of these same people, which is, it's cool because you get to know everybody a little bit better.
Yes, absolutely. Sorry, I'm just the page disappeared, so I'm just resetting it up.
And speaking of readathons, did you figure out your TBR?
I did. There's one that is still open, and that is for the prompt of the 24 in 48. Because I have a way to determine my reading order through my first sentence video. And so I need to do that video first and then calculate which one will be on that weekend. So I know which book is going to be scheduled for that readathon, because the reading order is picked through that video, so it's out of my hands.
That is a fun way to do your reading order, by the way. I watched your most recent one and voted on all the first lines of the book, and that's a fun way to do it.
Yeah, and it's so surprising because sometimes you prioritize books that you probably wouldn't have prioritized, and they turn out to be amazing. So yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I love, Anna, that you are going to finish the book in the next sprint. How are you liking it? I love George. I had my dinner and listened to about an hour of the audiobook. I'm also filling up visa applications for the family, hopefully to going in August. Fingers crossed everything goes well with the visa application. I only pledged 2 books and I'm about to finish my second book today. How are you doing, Jessa? Good question. 27 pages of Stepbrother Dearest. Well done. My dinner was leftover of my mom's experiment risotto that tasted like dolma. It was decent. That sounds interesting. It sounds like an experiment.
It sounds like a depressing meal. It's like leftovers of an experiment that tastes like I don't even know what word that is. It was okay.
Oh, it was food.
It was edible.
Well, at least you're real. Almost to my goal, doing well. That's awesome, Jessa. Participating in whatever thon, I should be able to complete all of the prompts except the buddy read. Well done, Jocelyn. It's okay if you can't complete everything. Najat is participating in whatever thon. I'm on Epic and High. Finished 17 books. Wow. Your goal was 10 and you did 17? That is
Nice.
really good. Really good. Offering to help with the buddy read. Awesome. Do you have anything short? Yeah, there's only a few pages, a few days left. Pledged to reading a fifth book. Awesome. You're all doing so well on that readathon. All right. Shall we get into the next sprint to keep the sprints longer than the chat?
Just so you know, this is going to be my last sprint. So I'll do the sprint with you because I have to get up earlier than usual tomorrow. So yes, I'll do this one and then I'll be on my way.
Awesome. Okay. All righty. Then let me get the timer up. Happy reading, everyone. See you in 40.
Speak in a bit.
it's time. Welcome back. And puppy.
We got Puppy.
Oh, so cute.
He's the last like 3 minutes. I was like, oh, he woke up and he needed to go out, and so I had to rush him out real quick. Yes, he is a big puppy.
Getting
He's only 3 months old too.
Oh, he's big for 3 months.
Yeah, he's a big boy. He's sitting on my lap too. So
puppy kisses.
Oh, he's a star. He knows it.
Yeah, he is.
So I got like 23 pages read, and then I started editing. Oh, okay, here you go, baby. He's like, let me back up. How'd you do?
Who wants to go first?
You go.
I didn't read that many pages this time around. I only read maybe about 15 or so. So a bit slower, because I was Googling a few terms in this book. This book is set in Delhi, in India. So there's a lot of terms that I had to Google because they were very confusing to me. But it's an interesting book. It's a good one for Pride, this book. I didn't tell you what it was about very quickly. It's just about this individual who is, I think they're intersex. It's not really it's not really said outrightly whether they're intersex or transgender, but in India it's known as Hajra, so that's the third sex, both male and female, and it's about them being what's that word when your family basically abandons you? I forgot the word. Sorry.
You mean shunning?
Yeah, there's a specific word that I'm thinking about. It will come back. No.
Ostracized.
Similar. These are all synonyms. It will come back to me, but disowned. That's it. She was disowned by her family, and then she moved into like this pleasure house. And it's about also, she comes from a Muslim community in India, and there's a lot of, which I didn't know this before, there used to be, I think there still is a lot of anti-Muslim sentiment in India, and it discusses that as well. So I won't say any more, otherwise I'll be talking too much, but it's very interesting.
You're not talking too much. It sounds
I feel like I am.
No, not at all. We're just listening to you.
Yeah. We're like, continue.
It's very contextually rich, this book. Like, she goes into a lot of detail about the context and the historical setting that this story is set in. So yeah, and she goes a lot into the characterization as well. So she builds up the characters, each one of them in depth, which I do like. But yeah, it's a good one for Pride because of the intersex representation, which I haven't really read very much of in books, apart from one other book. So yeah, it's interesting in that respect.
That's awesome. So you said that the reading is quite slow because it's like there's a lot of words on a page, and then the book looked like it has a lot of pages too.
Yeah, it does have a lot of pages. It's like over 400, about 470 or something. Yeah.
So this
not that many. 430.
But it sounds, and then the way you said, like, you had to look up words, it sounds like this is a huge commitment to start reading. It will take time.
I think a lot of people will struggle with it. I do like books that are quite mentally challenging, though. So I like books that you can easily breeze through and doesn't take a lot of concentration. But I also like books like this that go a bit deeper than that and kind of challenge you when you're reading them. So I don't think it will be for everyone, but I think it's one of those important books that you should read once.
That sounds really good. It sounds really interesting, but it also sounds quite intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, I've put everyone off.
No. Well, I mean, some people are looking for a certain kind, that certain kind of book, and so it's a good recommendation for somebody that's looking for, a book like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably not a book I would read because I don't have that. Like, I think it would take me months to read it. Because I would just be like,
it won't take me months. I'm planning to finish it by the end of this week or next week, hopefully. Because if I do like 100 pages a day, then I should theoretically be able to finish it in a week. But yeah, it's a very important read. I like the representation. I don't want to go into a kind of big-winded explanation because if I start, I won't stop. So, but yeah, it's one of those important books, and I expected it to be so because the other book by this author that I read, The God of Small Things, that was also an amazing book with a lot of contextual importance. So yeah, I expected this from her in this book.
Good.
Yeah, I've read some books like that, but they're like those tend to take me significantly longer because I'm usually reading multiple books at once. So when it takes a lot of brain power on a book, I'll just end up reading like small chunks and then be like, okay, now I need the speed through kind of book, and then so I feel like I'm accomplishing something too. Because if I focus on just the book that requires a lot of focus, I'll not read quite as much. But if I'm like, okay, take that in little chunks and then go to the ones that go fast, I feel like I'm accomplishing something because I'm actually finishing something. And then like a month or two later, I've finished the big scary beast of a book.
Yeah, I'm quite similar to that. When I read something that requires more like brain power, not that other books don't make me think. I also have like I read a lot of books that I can breeze through that still make me think and that can broaden my horizon. But if it's a book that's just not easy to follow along with, where you have to really stop and think about what you just read to make sure that you understood it correctly, and it sounds a little bit like it could be that type of book. Like a 200-page book takes me a month when it's that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean, I felt that way about this one, The Purpose Guided Universe, because it's so some of the things introduced are so complex, and then some of the things aren't as complex, but they're still like trying to follow along what the author is trying to explain to me. It's like it takes a lot of like brain power effort, so I can't pick it up every single day, because if I had a long day at work or something, or if I feel remotely tired, I can't concentrate on it. So that's why it feels intimidating. It sounds really good and I want to pick it up. I think I would have probably immediately purchased it and put it on next month's TBR if it would have been like 200 pages.
Man,
400.
The last book that required too much brain power, well, it wasn't because it was a smart book. It was because it was a ridiculously stupid book. It was House of Leaves.
Oh yeah, you talked about this. Yeah,
like I read a good chunk of it, and I was just like, this book is ridiculous, and it hurts my brain to try to read it because it's so weird, and like I love how like Illuminate is like, got the weird format and all that, but House of Leaves their format is just as weird, but it's not good. So it would be one thing if it was like a fun read, but it's not a fun read. It's just awful. And so I ended up DNFing it like 100 pages in or something because I was just like, I can't take it anymore. And that was like a 600 and something page book. And it took me like a week or two to get through that first 100 pages. And I was like, no.
Wow. Well, the good thing is, I know that I've probably intimidated a lot of people, but it is actually a very good book, and I love the author. And another thing that I love about this book is the way, because basically the author, Arundhati Roy, she's like a political rights activist, so she's very vocal about, you know, women's rights and civil rights, particularly in India. And she's written a lot of nonfiction essays, none of which I've read, but which I definitely want to read because so far I'm loving everything she does. So it is mentally challenging, but not in a way that requires you to think so hard about what she's writing, more so in the fact that her writing is very, very in-depth. Like she goes into a lot of detail. So I would recommend picking it up. Obviously, it is going to require a lot of commitment, but but it's not something that you can't get through.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with, you know, the author and them being a good storyteller, like a good, they tell the story well, that it keeps you interested. I mean, I have read other gigantic books that I've read some that I absolutely hated. And then I've read some that are very much completely out of my comfort zone, not the typical book that I would pick up in any way whatsoever, and then loved it. Like I got one right here, and it's a fat book. It's The Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. And this is a big book.
That is big.
Yeah.
Let's see, it's hold on.
I think I've heard of Ken Follett. Was it Follett?
983 pages.
Oh wow.
And it's about like building building churches, pretty much building cathedrals. And
that sounds really boring. It's way more interesting than that.
It's like 12th century England. Very much not my kind of thing. But it's so good. It is so good. Yeah, and it doesn't feel like 1,000 pages when you're reading it.
Yeah.
Well, the only other 1,000-page book I read was Gone with the Wind, but apart from that, I haven't really read any massive books.
Oh, I've got a few that. Have you ever read the Outlander series or any of the Outlander books? Yeah, they're all like over 1,000 pages, I think.
Wow, goodness me.
And they're really, really good too. They don't feel like 1,000. Some of them are like 1,400 pages. Like, hold on.
I'm also not usually scared of like a big book if it's that easy to read. If you just dive into a story and you stop noticing that you're reading, you know, that's when I have no issues with a 1,000-page book. But if it requires my brain power, then I get intimidated by a big book like this.
This is the first book, and it's one of the smallest, and it's 863 pages.
Oh,
this is one of the bigger ones in the series.
Oh wow! There's one big. I think it's a fantasy book that I want to read. It's called The Priory of the Orange Tree.
And that's a big one too.
Yeah, it is a big one, but it looks really interesting. So hopefully,
this one is 1,412 pages.
Goodness me!
Yeah, but they go through like they're told really well, and they go by a lot faster than they seem, but they're massive. So it really is all about the storyteller. I've also read Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy, and hated that book. Yeah.
But I find it goes the other way as well. Like I've read books that are only 300 pages, which for me is an average size book.
Mm.
But if it's like a non-fiction, for example, then it might take me as long as a 500-page fiction book would take. I don't know if anyone's experienced that.
207 pages.
Yeah.
207 pages.
Yeah.
Not happening.
I guess it again too depends on like the subject matter and how interested you are in it and things like that. Have either of you ever read Will My Cat Eat My Eyeballs by Caitlin Dowdy?
Interesting title.
The title and the picture on the cover is what like drew me to this book, and I was like, what? And it's big questions from little people. And so it's like kids asking Caitlin, she's a mortician, and they're asking her different questions about like death and dying and all this stuff. And she answers all of these bizarro questions that kids would ask, like giving grandma a Viking funeral and things like that. And it was just so interesting. And she like explains the cremation process and all of that. And I'm just like, it sounds really morbid, but it was a really, really good nonfiction book. And I just like devoured it. I think I read it in like a day and a half. And yeah, it's really, really good. But it was how she wrote it and everything. Yeah. It was very interesting.
With nonfiction, for me, it usually the most important thing. Like I can probably look past the writing style with a nonfiction book or something, but it's about the point that the person is trying to make. I can agree with their reasoning for making that point. If at any point in the book, the author loses me with their reasoning or with the point they're trying to make, that's when with a nonfiction, I'm starting to struggle. And I'm also starting to struggle when they start repeating themselves over and over and over in a nonfiction book. I'm like, you already made that point. Move on. So that's like my biggest pet peeves with nonfiction when I'm starting to really struggle. And that's probably really like in the beginning with this one, it was hard because it was basing it on science that I wasn't fully I had never fully thought about, so I didn't have too much knowledge about quantum mechanics, about string theory and that type of thing. But yeah, later it was about the reasoning where the person's losing me, and that's why it's becoming such a struggle.
Wow, I don't think I could read anything with quantum mechanics in it. I mean, if they really dumbed it down for me, I might, but
it's not that hard to understand. But I needed to watch 2 videos because I was missing some of the basics that this was building on. But with these 2 videos, like 5-minute videos, I was able to understand it, and then I had no problem understanding the point that the person was trying to make. And that part was really good. But then how the author is building their thesis is just not, it just doesn't feel scientific, and it just lost me. Start going through some comments.
There's like a little art for each question.
The artwork is interesting.
Yeah.
What happens when a cemetery is full of bodies and you can't add any more?
I
love the idea of that book. I really do.
Can I be buried in the same grave as my hamster? Again, these are little kids asking questions. So we eat dead chickens. Why not dead people?
Very good question. I fully agree with that question. It's a very valid question. I mean, explain.
Can everybody fit in a casket? What if they're really tall?
Wow.
Love it.
Interesting questions.
Okay,
and I was just like, this is very, very interesting.
Yeah.
This one was like, I went to the show where dead bodies with no skin play soccer. Can we do that with my body? And apparently that's a real thing. Like there's a show called Body Worlds. It's a traveling show. It opened in Tokyo in 1995 and began touring the United States in 2004, where they have real human corpses that have been donated, like
Awesome.
in positions like this.
If you ever have the chance to go see it, go see it. It is an amazing experience. It tells you so much about, like, it's really educational. Bodywork is amazing. Let's get through some comments and head into the next sprint soon. So not to chat longer than we read.
I know Lois has to leave us too.
Yeah. Anna is done. Gave it 5 stars. Yes, George deserves 5 stars. The mirror scene in the end, for the ones who read it, made me cry. I can understand that. I don't remember much about the book, but I remember how I felt about it. So, yeah, that was about the word you were looking for. What a coincidence that Lois and I are both reading a book about transgender characters. Mine is a lot less complex, though. Yes.
Oh, what is it? Do tell.
I thought she was reading genderqueer.
She's reading genderqueer. Okay. I was just wondering what book she was reading. Yeah.
And I was reading George.
Oh, George, that's right.
Oh,
which is middle grade.
The one with transgender rep. Okay. I'm with you now. Sorry.
Reached page 294, 477. Good night, Rudy. See you next week. I listened a little, but I have reached an obstacle in the visa thing. Oh no! Then started my physical read, King of Scars. Just started it. 6 pages. Can wait for Nikolai to appear. I heard that for the book being centered around Nikolai does not have enough screen time. That's all I heard. I received a power strip for my birthday. It was even gift wrapped. What? I asked my husband and found out he sent her my wish list on Amazon instead of my 3 wish lists. I like using gifts. So yeah. Oh my God, Justin!
That would have been a surprise.
I mean, she did look at your list, right? So I mean, it was on the list that you wanted to purchase it. So love it though. 4 for you, Glenn.
Mean Girls. For some reason.
I love the Outlander series. Not my type of genre, but she told the story. So
very apt bookmark, Melanie.
A book. That's what I would suggest.
Oh, actually, read this book. I can't find the light. Yeah, I can't find the light. Read my book.
Do you want to repeat what it's called?
It's a long title. It's called The Ministry of Utmost Happiness. But if you just remember Arundhati Roy, I'll actually put her name in the comments and then go to Goodreads and add her to your want to read lists.
So I like the title.
Yes, I like the title as well. I mean, so far it doesn't seem very happy. There's a lot of grief, but it's early days.
Well, it kind of it makes me think of the movie with Will Smith, The Pursuit of Happiness, and that also doesn't start out very happy either.
Yeah. So the choices for Anna currently are Tower of Dawn, Stormglass, The Midnight Library, Court of Mist and Fury, Six of Crows.
Oh, goodness.
First 2 are already.
I kind of want to say The Midnight Library, but also I kind of want to say A Court of Mist and Fury, because
I want to say Midnight Library because I think that this is out of all of the ones that you have listed, you're going to read it the quickest. It's going to be the quickest read out of all of them, and I feel like you're going to love it. But then if you already started Tower of Dawn and Storm Glass, I feel like continue one of the two that you have already started just to like complete something. Lois, what do you think? What should Anna read?
Well, of that list, I've only read Six of Crows, and I love Six of Crows, but, you know, that's just coming from someone who doesn't know much about all the other books.
I love Six of Crows too.
Yeah, I mean, everyone that I've heard speak about the Midnight Library gives it the highest praise. So, yes, that should be an instant win.
If you read Court of Mist and Fury, you'll be almost caught up with my little buddy read thing.
Mm. So we're not much help, are we? Read what you're most drawn to or finish a book. Yeah, I mean, it depends on how far you're into Tower of Dawn or Storm Glass. There's still big chunks to read. They're not short.
You can put all the names on pieces of paper and then just randomly draw one.
Yep.
But surely, Anna, you must have an idea of what you feel like you most want to read. Because when you have a bunch of choices, I always find I want to read these 3 books, but I'm tending more towards this one particular book. So I don't know, are there any of that list that you kind of feel more inclined to read?
Or you could just pick the book with the least amount of pages.
Well, there's that method too.
The quickest read, I think, is the Midnight Library out of all of them.
I have no idea what Storm Glass is, so size-wise, I'm guessing the Midnight Library would probably be the shortest.
I might be completely wrong because YA fantasy is not my specialty, but it sounds like a Sarah J. Maas book. Is it not?
Storm Glass is not.
No. It sounds like one of her titles, though. Like
Tower of Dawn is, and A Court of Mist and Fury is.
Oh, it might be a different one. Which is it? The Storm Glass by Jeff Wheeler? Because that's what I had in mind. But there's also a Storm Glass by Maria V. Snyder, and there's Storm Glass, by Fred Lindbergh, and one by Jane Urquhart. If you are an aspiring author, do not call your book Storm Glass. It happens.
I think I'll go with Midnight Library. I got it for Christmas, and I've been wanting to read it for the last 6 months. Well, there you go.
Do it. Another person reading it so we can talk about it. Love it. All right. I'm getting really tired today. I think I'm only going to do one more sprint because I've had a long couple of days and I'm getting really tired. So let's maybe head into another sprint, which means sadly that we're going to say goodbye to Lois.
She answered the question about Storm Glass.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, it starts the spin-off. Interesting. I enjoyed Poison Study.
Where are you located, Lois?
I am in the UK, so it's 10:30 now, which is early for me, but I have to get up quite early tomorrow because actually I was working from home for a long time during this pandemic, but tomorrow I'm going to be going back into the office. So I have to get up early tomorrow so that I can get there on time.
Are you excited to be going back to work?
Do you know what? I actually am. A lot of people that I speak to, my colleagues and stuff, they love working from home. And I understand there are lots of perks. Like you can, take a bit more liberties when you're working from home as opposed to in the office. I don't really want to say what those liberties are because I don't know who might see this. But
You can be in pajamas.
well, you know, for
That's a
one.
lot of legal liberties. I mean, honestly, if you in the office, you would spend your break maybe in a canteen or walking around the city or something, but at home you can spend your break on the couch reading. That is
Yeah.
completely legal, but that's a liberty that you have when you work from home.
Like saying you're going for a coffee break and then taking a shower or sleeping during lunch, you know, these sorts of things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, so I do like that part of it. I do like the perks with all of that, but I do miss going into the office. So I'm actually happy to be going back to the office, weirdly.
Sometimes it's
I don't
good to be like on a schedule and like feel like back to normal kind of thing.
Yeah. Also just that change of environment because it's almost like I live at work. Like my desk that I'm on now is where I work from. So yeah, I wake up and I just come straight to my desk and it's like work is at home. There's no transition.
I'm getting sick of being at home too.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
Well, it was nice meeting you, Lois, and I have subscribed to your channel, so I'll be checking out your videos here. Let me take this off.
Likewise. And I will also check out your readathon. It sounds really interesting.
Yay.
Watch this space. But yeah, I'm gonna love you and leave you all, guys. Thank you so much again.
Louis, we're going to see each other next Saturday, right?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are planning a some more reading sprints, but this time on my channel. So you're all invited.
Yeah, if you have Twitter, watch Twitter for the link and everything, or just subscribe to Lois' channel and make sure to watch that so you can all join on Saturday.
Yes, there will be updates. So yeah, you will be informed. Anyway, thanks again, Cece, for having me. Enjoy the last sprint. I'll probably still watch it, but from bed. But
I love that.
Enjoy the last sprint, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, it's so much earlier here, so I'm like, okay, y'all go to sleep. I still have the rest of my night because it's like it's only 5:30 p.m. here.
I mean, I have to get up early tomorrow for once as well. My son needs to be dropped off for a day trip, so I have to drive him for. I think it's like a 45-minute drive in the morning. Not my thing, but yeah, I should be going to bed soon. It's like 11:30 now, so one more sprint and then bed is probably a good idea.
Probably. I have set my book down and lost it, but I don't think I took it anywhere. Oh, here it is. I buried it under some other books.
That can happen in your place very easy.
Yeah, I got stacks everywhere.
All right. Are we ready to head into another sprint?
Sure.
All righty then. See you in 45. Happy reading.
Happy reading.
That's time. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
How'd you do?
Let's see. I got 34 pages,
Nice.
I think. Marty left for work in the middle of that, so I had to stop for a second. Say bye. So yeah, I'm on page 430 on my book now.
Good. I think I read a total of 100 pages today in this book, and I'm starting to speed read because I can't, it fulfills every cliche and every trope that you could think of, and it's just so, it's like, come on, really? This trope too, you had to leave it in.
What tropes are what are the tropes that are in it?
So
what is it about? Tell us what it's about.
You have two sisters. One is the adventurous. The other is the I'm afraid of everything. I don't do anything. I'm totally boring. And it's all because our mom died, and then I had to take care of my little sister. So I gave up my whole life to just be with you. And I never left my hometown in Tennessee. And her sister, yay, her sister, the adventurous one, sets her up to say, hey, we're going to go on a sister's trip to this little island. You're going to see the ocean for the first time, and she convinces her to go. And then she doesn't show up at the airport, but this hunk of a guy sits in her seat on the plane, and things like, oh my God, turbulences, and oh my God, my seatbelt is undone. Oh my God, I'm landing on his lap. Oops. And of course, this hunk of a guy is the owner of the resort. He's the nicest guy, rich, polite. He never flirts with guests, but she's the special one. It's like so full of it, and there's like,
see, it sounds like something I would really enjoy. It sounds like it's very cute.
You have terminal illness in there. You have a not so much love triangle, but love triangle. You have the, oh my God, I'm so jealous for no reason. You have the, oh my God, I'm so drunk, I'm going to do karaoke. Oh my God, I'm so drunk, I'm going to go hook up with you. You have the misunderstandings. You have the, oh my God, you didn't really fall for me. You just did it because you had to. And now I'm like, there's every trope that I can think of is in here. And it's just like, there's nothing that feels original. There's nothing that feels like, I don't know, it's just fulfilling. It's like you gave the author a list of all the tropes that they needed to get in there, and, well, she delivered. It's not bad or anything. It's just so predictable and so like, of course this had to happen now too. I'm just waiting for the ugly duckling to turn pretty because she puts on makeup for the first time, or wears a dress for the first time. Like, oh. Yeah. There's like, yeah, I don't feel chemistry. It's just ticking the boxes, you know?
Though it sounds like something I would enjoy. It sounds like a cute contemporary romance.
Probably.
Light, fluffy, fun read. But see, I like the contemporary romance books, and you're not a romance person, so.
I mean, I'm okay to, like, I'm open to it, but it's like there's nothing in there that makes it different. There's nothing. It's like just give me something else aside from just the tropes, and just do something. And hi Anna, it's Meet Me in Paradise. I mean, the title already tells you it's not a book that I'm going to enjoy, probably.
A lot of comments.
There's this is where we started. Hi. Page 119. I'm so engrossed. How many pages does it have? Because you were reading graphic novel, right?
I can't remember what she's reading.
It wasn't just a reading.
I'm scrolling
genderqueer?
back to see. Do I?
Wasn't just a reading genderqueer? Or was it somebody else?
I thought there was somebody else. I'm scrolling back.
Okay. Leslie joined at 13 minutes and read 3 to 4 pages of Wish You Were Here by Jodi Picoult, an arc of her newest novel that releases this fall. How are you liking it?
It is Jessa that was reading genderqueer.
I read one book by Jodi Picoult, and I liked it okay. It just wasn't my top pick necessarily, but yeah. Oh, Anna's tackling The Priory of the Orange Tree. Do you enjoy it? Is it good? Is it worth it already? I got distracted, but I read a few chapters of The Midnight Library. I like it so far. Yay! Good. You're going to fly through this one. Ate dinner and finished the Tea Dragon Society. I heard good things about the Tea Dragon Society too.
It's cute.
Anna saying hi to Anna. When do you want to start buddy? Or they're talking about fulfilling the buddy read prompt.
They're gonna read I forget. Laura Dean keeps breaking up with me or something like that.
22 pages. I fell asleep. I think that's what's going to happen to me. I'm going to try and finish the rest in bed. I have a feeling that I'm going to fall asleep because Goodreads says it has 239 pages for genderqueer. Oh, you're going to be finishing that quick then. Enjoying it quite a lot, but for some strange reason, it's taking me too long to read a page. Well, it is a big chunk fantasy, so it's probably a lot of world building that you're going through right now within the first 100 pages. So it's very understandable that it's taking you long in the beginning to read. It's probably going to speed up. Laura Dean keeps breaking up with me, buddy read. Awesome. Awesome. All right. I think this is probably going to be one of the shortest live reading sprints, Mel, that the two of us have done so far. But I am getting really tired.
Oh, as a reminder, next month for July, we'll have to do the same kind of thing where I'll have to join you for like the last Sunday of the month or something, because I'll be doing my live show with Jeff Sentner on the last day of the month at the same time, and then the After Hours live show that night. So,
oh no, it's exactly at the same time.
Yeah, at 3 p.m. Eastern time. And then the After Hours live shows 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Well, the live show with Jeff is an hour. It's set up for an hour.
It's hour and a half, however long, we all want to chat. He wants to chat.
Yeah.
I mean, if he wants to hang out for a couple of hours, we might just hang out for a couple of hours, but I don't know. I think the longest one we've ever done with an author was probably Caleb Rohrig. And I think we went over 2 hours with him. But we were all just having so much fun chatting with him.
It's set during the pandemic, starts right at the beginning with the first lockdown. Weird to read fiction with a setting that feels too close. Hope it is more character driven, like most of people. That is, I don't know if I would be ready for that.
No, like I felt, I read Hollowpox during all this pandemic stuff, and even that was difficult because they're in a pandemic pretty much in Hollowpox, and I was just like, which I mean, granted, she wrote it before the pandemic, but there was a lot that was like, there was some crazy stuff that was in there that was very in line with what was going on in the world as I was reading it, because like the storming of the Capitol building here, there's a scene, we read that scene like the day after there was a storming of this place in the book in Hollowpox of
That's
this
so weird.
of the school. And we read that scene the day after the storming of the Capitol building. We're like, what is going on?
I mean, there's a lot of fiction that feels very realistic now all of a sudden. But as long as it's fictional and not based on real facts, I'm okay to read it or watch a movie about it. But something that's actually, the setting is actually like the real pandemic that we have lived through, I'm not sure if I'm ready for that. So it doesn't stand out. Okay. And yes, Anna, there's a stream on Wednesday. On Wednesday, I will be joined by Mo. So Mo is going to do the end of the month reading sprints with me on Wednesday. So he's stepping in for Mel. Just check the library. I have access to. They have the Serpent King. Yay!
Yay! And it's set in Tennessee because he actually he's from here.
Oh, that's cool. I know that I do own Where Dreams Descend. I think I might own the Serpent King. Goodreads tells me I own it, but I thought I didn't. But if Goodreads tells me I own it, I probably do.
You just have to look for it.
Yeah. I watched Sweet Tooth on Netflix this week, and there's also a pandemic post-apocalypse setting. It feels so weird. All the masks, etc. The sick in the show is a lot worse than real life, though. There's also this, I don't know, was that on Amazon or was that on Netflix? This show that builds on the pandemic and just puts like a 2.0 on the pandemic where it gets a lot worse. It was so awkward to see that. It was good and bad at the same time to watch it. I don't know what the name was, but it was weird. I will miss Mel, but I'm happy to read with you and Mo. Yes, same. I'm looking forward to having some sprints with Mo, but I will miss Mel too.
Oh, well, I'll be back with CC on the 15th on my channel. And then I know that weekend as well, the 17th and 18th, me, Clint, and Kaylani are all going to be doing live reading sprints. I'll probably throw in some more live reading sprints throughout, possibly, for the readathon. So you'll see lots of me. So just, come over and check me out.
Pickle has a way of writing where the character's struggles and growth take priority over setting. Fingers crossed. Yeah, you're right. That's the that's kind of the feeling that I got from, was it the Book of Two Ways? That's what I read. I'm 60 pages out of It Ends With Us. It's making me so angry. I'm not okay. Oh no. Oh no.
I'm sorry. Oh.
No. Yeah, we need to make sure Anna is aware that things are happening.
Well, put it on your calendar now, the 15th on my channel. And you will see me and Cece back together again. And then for July, also the last Sunday of the month, I'll be with Cece. And then she'll have to find somebody else to fill in that last day, because unless you want to do our end of the month reading sprint on the 30th instead of the 31st, I could do that. Or in that case, we could do the beginning of the month, the day after. Either way.
Yeah, let me think about it, because I kind of don't want to miss the on your channel with Jeff, the live. So let's see what we can do.
Yeah, if you want to keep with the end of the month thing, we can just do it the day before. Or we could even do the morning, my time. And we just have to end before my live show with Jeff.
Yeah, let me check. It's a Friday, so that could work too. Let me check, and let's see what works. But so yeah, everybody who's joining the end of the month, watch that space. I'm going to post it on Twitter most likely, and I'm going to put up the as soon as a decision has been made. I know that lately I've been only creating the live shows a day before. But in this case, I'm going to create it as soon as we made the decision.
All right.
I can see why people say Colleen Hoover's work will break your heart into tiny little pieces. Oh no, I feel too bad leaving you with that now. Maybe you just have to continue reading a little bit.
Here, hold on. I got something that helps.
Oh, yay, yay! Get some puppy love.
Ugh. Puppy helps.
Puppy always helps. I hope that helps, Selma.
He's so cute. And he's so cuddly. Oh, I just love him so much. What you doing? What you doing? I give him kisses. He gives me kisses back.
Oh.
It helps a lot.
Good. Then on that note, let's finish up the sprint now, because I need to get to bed. I need to get up early.
He's like, let me down.
Thanks for being here with me, Mel. It's always a pleasure reading with you.
I always enjoy it.
All right, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for joining, and I hope to see you on Wednesday for the end of the month